Well, Gaffer, looking ahead to Saturday's game with Bristol Rovers, another side very much in the mix of the playoffs.
Oh, very much so. I think Clarkie's done a fantastic job, hasn't he? When they got relegated down to the non-league football, you think, oh, here we go. But they stuck by him, and they stuck by him because he knew the level as well, of course, being at Salisbury when they went and got him. And he got them straight back up and up again. And it's a real difficult place to go. He's got a superb squad of players. And it'll be a tough test for us. This is a real contender for the playoffs coming here to the ABAX on Saturday. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're a big club as well for this level. People seem to forget, of course, the supporter base that they have. They have nearly 10,000 people turn up for home games. So they're geared to be successful.
Oh, they're certainly geared. And, you know, it's an atmosphere that's got, as you say, 10,000 fans in. But when you're against it and you're under the cosh a bit, it feels like 20,000. They really get behind their team, and they will again on Saturday. So, but there's no game ever been won off the pitch. It's always about on it. But it helps when your supporters are with you, of course, because it can be like a goal or two. And but they're a fantastic football club that conduct themselves in the right way. And I've got a lot of time for the manager there. So, you know, win, lose or draw, we'll have a beer afterwards and we'll put the walls to right. But more importantly, we've got a match to go out and try and get a result from.
You mentioned this week about the importance of reserve team football in terms of getting fitness into the players. You had a game at Aston Villa this week, and that was a great opportunity for those that needed it to get those minutes under their belt. Yeah,
there's not many criticisms, Phil, that we can speak of or we want to speak of when we come in, but one of the things that the players have identified us to is if they're not in the starting 11 for a few weeks, then they've not been playing competitive games, and you can train as often as you like, because we found out with young Jermaine Anderson last week, you can be sparkling and training short-sided games, but there's nothing beats competitive minutes in games. So we went to Villa, Stevie Bruce and myself were in touch over that weekend, and we agreed the game, and suited them, suited us. We got players minutes, they did. Very competitive game as well, played in a real good spirit, and we'll do a one again next week. So it's important that we get the players ready, so when the chance comes in the first team, they're competitively ready rather than training ground ready, and there's a world of difference.
Yeah, a few players that needed minutes in terms of being injured. Anthony Grant, Ryan Tafazoli got minutes under their belt as well. I presume they come into contention for the weekend now.
Yeah, both do, of course. Anthony especially, you know, we've been, in our own minds, we were unable to pick him, and we kept him involved in the group. He travelled with the group. He's an experienced player, and he's a fantastic professional. And we spoke to him prior to the Villa game about one or two things that we wanted to sort out in his game and improve on, and he's took it on board brilliantly, as Grant he does. And so he obviously comes into contention, but there's others in contention too. Big Tafazoli comes into contention, but maybe we put Hughes across and play young Freestone because he was outstanding at Villa. So there's different options open to us, but we'll start to work on a shape and a pattern of play tomorrow and get ready for Saturday.
Yeah. Leo, of course, away with Portugal under the 20s, and I've got a couple of games this week, one I think today. So there obviously is a change that needs to be made enforced, as is with Jack Baldwin being suspended, and I guess two changes you have to make straight away. Yeah,
there is the two changes. It's a shame we lose Leo. You know, I think he's been in good form. He got caught a little bit at the start of the game last Saturday, but so did all of us. But he's a player that you would rather have in your team and available to you. But we've still got good options in there. You know, we've got Forrester who's looking back more like himself. He's trained properly today. We've got Michael Doughty, who wasn't his best last week, but he was in stunning form leading up to it. And so we've got good options, and we're going to have a good chat this afternoon. But we've probably got a good idea where we're going to go.
And you'll be looking for a reaction, of course, after last week, and the players have obviously demonstrated that in training this week, that they're ready and raring to go.
I think for me, reaction is never about verbal. Reaction is about what you do. And so we've said to our players, we don't need players to say, I didn't have a good game. We don't need players to say, Gaffer, I apologise. We don't need the Gaffer to say, Chairman, I'm sorry. You don't need to do that. Actions speak louder than words. So let's put a team on the pitch that's going to be really competitive all over it, and make sure that we're on the front foot against Bristol Rovers, because we have to be. I watched them win at Milton Keynes recently, and the win there 1-0, but it was as comfortable as a 1-0 as you could wish to see. So this is a good opponent.
And just finally, obviously, this is the first of just 4 home games remaining. You mentioned about the lopsidedness with the away fixtures. So those home fixtures are going to be key, aren't they, between now and the end of the season?
Well, I think there is an imbalance. We've got it to 5-4. You know, it was worse when we come in, you know, with 2 further away games and only the one at home. So I think you always say it levels out. It levels out if you're the manager at the start and the manager at the end. It doesn't level itself out if you come in with that imbalance. But the imbalance was there. We knew the picture when we come in. I can't say that being away from home at Oxford caused us a problem, because I thought our supporters turned up in great numbers and they were magnificent, and we let them down. So, and we never let them down because of the result, because that is football. We let them down with the nature of the performance. And there was a lot wrong with that, and that started with me and Paul and all the way down to the end of the team. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and pick a team that's full of energy on Saturday, has a real structure to it. But you know, we're going to need a special player, and for me, the special player has always been the posh fans. I think the stadium this season has probably been lacking what it's had in years gone by, which is a real sportly atmosphere. I think I said against Walsall it was there with the least crowd of the season, and I thought it was there for the second half against Charlton. I thought the fans, when we lost the goal, really stood up, and they helped us get the two others. So we're going to need an ABAX Stadium, and you know, in good voice and good spirits, and getting right behind the team. You know, win, losing or drawing, these 9 games are 9 cup finals.